Hey guys, well I'm in a different location today with my friend here, Xiaopeng, my daughter's panda, which she brought all the way home from China, and I'm going to talk to you about budgeting and how to budget. Now, my grandma taught me to budget when I was 18 years old, and I'm going to use the exact same system she taught me to teach you, using physical glass jars. Now, my grandma, she used to walk around to the post office on a fortnightly basis, and she would pick up her pension from the post office and walk home with that money in cash. I'm a bit surprised she never got mugged, but there you go. She walked home with a whole lot of cash. The first thing she did when she got home was she would take down physical glass jars from a kitchen cupboard, put them on a kitchen table, get out her pension payment, and she would then divide it up amongst the jars. Now, each jar you can see there has a label on it for a specific expense. So we've got the electricity jar, we've got the milkman jar, the gas jar, the rates, and then housekeeping. And housekeeping was for things like clothes, haircuts, groceries, etc. Now, so she would get her £800, and we can see here that we've got $60 of that money would go into the electricity, 10 into the milkman, 60 into the gas jar. We would then have 80 into the rates, and $433 would go into the housekeeping jar. Most importantly, after putting money into all of those jars, she then still had $127 left over, and that $127 would then go into her savings. So you can see we've got Mr. Platypus here, that would go into her savings account there. So we pop that in there. Now, we've got money left over, and it's so important that you understand that we need to have money left over at the end of every month, because that is the money that we're going to use to build a cash reserve. We're going to use it to save for the things that are really important for us, buying a car, buying a house, those sorts of things. So it's important that we have money left over, and Grandma always knew that she had some money left over. Now, what would happen then in that month is the milkman would come, and she would pay the milkman his money. She would spend most of her housekeeping money on day-to-day incidentals, so that money would be gone. But her gas bill and her electricity bill came once every 3 months, so that money would stay in there and accumulate month on month until the bill turned up. Her rates bill would turn up once a year, so that money would build up there for the whole year until it turned up, and then she had the money to take out and pay the bill. So I'm hoping that you can see that each jar has different purposes, but the important thing is that the jars build up with each month. So let's just say that we came to month 2 or pay time 2. Next pay, Grandma goes, well, okay, I've got my $800 or £800 in her case. She would then put $90 in there, $10 in there, $60 in there, $80 in there, and another $433 in there. This month, she would then go, okay, now I'm going to spend that money. I'm going to pay the milkman what he's due, because the milkman came in a horse and cart at that point in time and gave her fresh milk, fresh cheese and fresh yogurt, and he needed to be paid. The money would just accumulate in the electricity jar, accumulate in the gas jar, accumulate in the rates jar, but she would also then spend her housekeeping money, and there would be another lot of money to pop away in Mr. Platypus for her savings. So I'm hoping that's making a lot of sense. This is the exact same way that we need to manage our own finances. The one difference, if you remember from one of our previous tutorials, I talked to you about the importance of paying yourself first. So where Grandma put the money into the jars, and then she looked at, well, how much did I have left over at the end of the month? The best way for us to do is go, well, hang on, I'm earning $800, so I want to make sure that my savings come first. So what you would do first is you would pop money into Mr. Platypus first, and then you would spend whatever is left. So I'm hoping that's making sense. This is the way to budget. Now, as I said to you, you don't have to use physical glass jars. You can use envelopes, you can use mobile apps, you can use paper budgets. And if you go to a lot of the stationery stores these days, they actually have paper budgets that you can use to manage your spending. So that's it. That's the basics of budgeting. It's very simple. It's about understanding what your expenses are, allocating an amount per pay so that when those expenses turn up, you have the money sitting there ready to pay them. No sweat, no stress.